Hello and welcome to The Buzz, the show that in Australia has the very best theme song I have ever heard. Don't you agree, Mr. Paul Cook?
Absolutely, although next week we want to change it slightly to a funky disco song just to mix things up.
We'll try and surprise you with that. Joining us, of course, this evening, as every evening, Candice Barnes. Hello.
Digging the funky disco.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty full on. Now, folks, if you'd like to join us on The Buzz, we encourage it. We would love for you to jump on social media, whether it be Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn or Bebo or...
Something we haven't heard of, and then tell us about it so we can go and check it out.
App.net. That's the next big thing. You heard it here first. So, welcome along this evening. If you do want to be a part of the show, you can be, and we do encourage it. More than just the three of us, we want you. That includes Henry Bean and...
Yeah,
Not Gareth. And
Candice's mum.
That's
just
it.
Tweeting.
Yeah. All of those things. We do want you coming along. And I tell you what as well, there's cats that enjoy this show. Do you know why?
Yeah, but not good cats, bad cats.
Bad cats? Check this out. I suspect that's Tard the cat going out and doing that sort of stuff.
Yes, funnily enough, Jason found that Googling angry pussy.
Oh, that wasn't in the rehearsal. All right, it's time for Candice to get us up to date on what's happening around the place.
That's a shocker, guys. My God. So it's getting closer to the end of the year now, and we're getting closer to 2013, which means we're getting closer to the 2013 relaunch of that social media site we all love to hate, MySpace. They are going to be sort of renovating and giving themselves a bit of a facelift to the tune of around $50 million to place them alongside sort of other music rivals such as Pandora and Spotify. Justin Timberlake, interestingly, is one of the backers, and he's been quite vocal about trying to get the project out there. Remains to be seen whether it'll be successful. Moving on really quickly, you remember last week that we told you about the Gangnam Style Christmas lights, which are over in Churchlands. Well, unfortunately, they've been taken down after it was deemed they were a public nuisance, with neighbours complaining and the amount of traffic in the street posing a hazard to the young children around. So that's a bit of a shame, but enjoy the video. It's still up on YouTube and probably will be for a wee while. And in breaking news, the Call Me Maybe star, Carly Rae Jepsen, if you can call her a star, I guess you could call her a star. She's been nominated in the Grammys this year, not just once, but twice. Once for Song of the Year and also for Best Pop Solo Performance. Who knows, here's hoping that someone better than that will win. But hey, we won't take that away from her. Here's some interesting footage that we stumbled across of some Russians getting a little frisky on a tram.
Do you know what, Jason? Russians, we don't tend to think of it here. We tend to think we're quite advanced, but they're very advanced. That is the latest model airbag on a tram.
That's how it works. Do you reckon they were up to no good there? Do you reckon they were getting frisky?
I think it was just a comfy way to sit. Honestly, Your Honour, it was a very comfy way to sit.
All right, time to talk Perth Trends, and it's trending here just like it's trending everywhere else around Australia. Gurumul, you would know him as the Aboriginal guitar player, singer, songwriter.
Jeffrey Gurumul, very popular.
Very popular, yes.
He's won plenty of arias. He has played with people, has the adornment of people around the world, including the likes of Sting and Brian May and stuff like that.
Absolutely. Couldn't get a taxi. Well, in fact, a taxi came and then saw it was Gurumul and said, "No, mate.
No.
No, mate."
And
that's how it went.
And yeah, and the claim is that, you know, the taxi driver is obviously horribly racist.
Is that racism?
I don't know. Once again, you don't really know the circumstance. You don't know what the taxi driver saw, how he was approached, what really went on, and what had happened that night previously. So it's a long
It's funny though, as I understand it, one of the first drafts of the story that actually hit one of the news websites initially indicated that the taxi driver was from the southern continent. In other words, implying that this guy was an Indian taxi driver, and therefore saying, well, it's not that white Australians are racist, it's that Indian Australians are racist.
Yeah, you know, which is in itself indicative of, you know, we seem to really have this kind of racist hype at the moment, and I think we lose the story and we lose the plot a little bit.
I'm just going to see if I can actually bring up some tweets about this. If we have a quick look on Twitter and look at some of these tweets. Missy Higgins, in fact, that's who he was performing with that night, said, "So sad that this still happens in our country. Think about how often it must and is not reported. Hugs to you, Garamal," from Missy Higgins. And of course...
But do we know, for instance, that the taxi driver said, no, you get out of my... I mean, was that an actual fact? Have you seen that reported in the story? I haven't seen that. I'm seeing a bow being drawn, and I'm not saying that there isn't racism in this country, and I'm not saying that there aren't problems with that per se, but what I'm saying, this particular issue seems to have, like a match of firework, has gone out of control and just exploded.
It's almost as though on social media we're all just waiting at the moment to be outraged. What's the next outrageous thing? Anyway, we do have an outrageous thing.
Yeah.
Today FM, the home of Jackie O and Kyle, whatever his name is. It seems that they decided that they were going to try and pretend to be the Queen and Prince Philip and phone through to the British hospital that Kate Middleton is currently staying in, and it worked. It worked.
And, you know, a couple of young kids, radio gig, and the boss has gone, you know, I don't know, what's the best thing you can do in your first 6 months in a job? I don't know, get us exposure around the world for some prank you do. And that's exactly what they've done. And they've copped a lot of flack. Some of the tweets that have come through have been terribly hateful. There's somebody saying 2Day should have their licence taken off air because they're causing an embarrassment to us overseas. Eric Fisher said, 2Day FM cretins, whatever happened to talent? I hope the busy nurse you hurt with a stunt, not even funny, mid-last century, keeps her job. Fair enough, the nurse might lose her job, but the fact I would say is the nurse wasn't doing her job properly.
Yeah, well,
Simple
I mean,
as that.
If you were phoned up by someone who you thought was the Queen, you'd probably take the call.
But you would have to verify it's the Queen.
But you've got Kate Middleton in there, so you'd kind of think, well, it's an appropriate phone call. Anyway...
Yeah, you just go, oh yeah, sorry, this guy talking with a Welsh accent. You're the
Take
Queen.
a look at my iPad again. Here's some headlines from around the world of how they've basically covered the story. The Telegraph, not very happy. The Sun, not very happy. Mail Online, yeah, really not very happy. That's quite a long headline, isn't it? Visiting times at 9, ma'am. Palace furious. Australian radio pranksters pretending to be the Queen duped nurse at Kate's hospital into giving her intimate medical details.
They didn't dupe the nurse. The nurse wasn't doing her job properly. Any kid anywhere in the world could have made that phone call.
Let's throw to someone who is doing her job properly. Hello, Candice.
Hi, yeah, we've got a few more little social media tidbits for you. A new Facebook glitch has been uncovered, this time looking at Facebook groups. The problem being that if you've left a Facebook group, chances are you've been put back into it, or to the horror of admins everywhere, that perhaps people who never joined your group in the first place, that you never approved, could now have access to your potentially closed group. Obviously some issues there with privacy, but Facebook says it is working on the issue as always. Moving on, she's so bad she's good, and little beauty queen Alana, also known as Honey Boo Boo Child, has been named in the top 10 most fascinating people. Now, who on earth would do that, I hear you saying? Well, it's TV personality in the United States, Barbara Walters. So putting Honey Boo Boo on a list with some prestigious names, including Hillary Clinton, Ben Affleck and E.L. James, the author of the 50 Shades of Grey trilogy. Some big shoes to fill, but I guess she is a fascinating person. We'll have to see what comes of that. If you like pranks, this is a goodie.
Pull this handle down while I pull here. Just real quick, ready?
Oh my!
And I would like to point out that we do actually know how to spell fascinating. We let the intern actually do that last super. Alrighty then. Thank you very much, Candice. Paul, now, I know that when you're at work, you don't actually do a lot of work. You mainly sort of browse websites and stuff. So have you got any cool ones you can tell us about?
No, not really. Look, I was very busy this week. It is coming up to Christmas, so sadly I had to use my surfing the email time into my spare time, which is dreadful. But anyway, look, I did find a couple of sites I thought I'd pass on to our viewers. One is called LastPass. Look, I don't know about you, Jason, but I get tired of not only having to think of new passwords for new websites, when you have to update them, it annoys me. What I went looking for was somewhere that would take some of that out of it. So I could just go, oh, that's where my stuff is. LastPass.com is a website where you can put all this information.
Oh.
There's a free version. Or
How
you
do
can
you know
buy...
it's not run by the Russian mafia?
I don't care. There's nothing the Russian mafia want from me apart from maybe your phone number.
Yeah, true.
But you can go in there, have a look. You can download it. There are features. It's got some good reviews, and that's one of the things that caught my attention. It's safer. It's easier. Apparently, it's secure. You basically log in. It gives you a way to basically not remember your passwords and gives you one master password for all your sites.
So I've only got to hack your master password so that I can get access to all your other ones?
But you also have to get into hack my account in here, find out how the master password works in with all the other passwords I have, and then do it. So yes, but it's actually an extra step of security, if that makes sense to some degree.
And I'm not really that interested in your porn collection anyway.
You say that now, but last week he's trying to get on my DVD.
All right, that one was pretty rubbish. What's next?
It was. Anyway, radio in the future, what are we going to be doing? Now, some believe it's digital radio, but just between you and I is bullshit, because what's going to happen is before that comes in, we will probably have unlimited levels on internet access via our mobile application devices. There's a thing, as you would know, called TuneIn. As an app, or for your Android or your iPhone, they actually have a website, and I think it's worth mentioning. So if you're at home, you're thinking, I want to listen to music from Moscow.
Yeah.
Normally, that means you'd have to travel to Moscow and then tune in a radio while you're there. With tunein.com, you can just type in Moscow, have a look at these fabulous looking Moscow stations. Russian comedy, how hilarious would that be? You can spend the day
that was like
listening
that Russian video with the couple on the back of the tram.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hilarious.
Airbags. You can now track it down anywhere in the world. Look, it's a really great app, and if you are a fan of radio and maybe you do some radio listening through the internet, then why not try?
So there's a website, there's an application that goes in your
TuneIn.com,
iPhone, iPad,
absolutely. Yeah, you can take it with you. Yeah, that's right.
Even that. Yeah, I've got the application up on my my iPad at the moment, and the only drawback is the whopping great big advertisement at the top.
Yeah, well, the website doesn't have that. The actual website that you listen to or you go to on the iPad doesn't have it, so it's great.
You know what? I reckon that it's been such a high-pressured, full of information, funny first half of this show that our viewers deserve a break.
Oh, absolutely, Jason.
We'll be back shortly.
Without a doubt.